In my opinion, one of the most enjoyable maps to play Sage on is Ascent. On attack, Sage is able to use her slows to help with executes and to lock down the site in the post plan. On defense, Sage is able to hold B Main with her utility or get aggressive in mid and go for an early peek using her wall. In this video, I will cover some basic slow orb lineups for attacking both A and B, some useful walls for both attack and defense, and some retake lineups to help you retake A.
I'm blind.
Let's start off with a few slow orb lineups that you can throw to help your team with an A site execute. First, let's talk about a slow for A Rafters. Come into this corner in A Main and look up toward this storm area in the sky. Using your crosshair, aim at the tip of this boulder white triangle and throw. This will not be able to cover the entire rafters, but it will slow enemies as they push out, making them easy kills. If instead, you are coming into A site from mid, you can stand in this corner near this dog. Line up the icon for your heal ability with the top line of this building, and throw. This will land in the same spot as the first slow. Next, for the generator slow. This is a common place that defenders like to play from, and a slow like this will trap them here. To throw this slow, come into this corner in A Main. Using your slow orb tooltip box as a point of reference, line up the top corner of the box with the top left corner of this beam and throw. Next, let's go over a lineup for the back of these double green boxes on site. To throw this slow, come into this corner in A Main. Use your slow orb tooltip box as a point of reference and line up the top left corner with the top left corner of this gray section of the wall and throw. After your team has control of the site, you can place a vertical wall like this from below the rafters. Not only will this make it harder for the defenders to retake the site because they will have to break the wall, but it will give your team a slight one-way onto the feet of the defenders like this. Let's switch over and talk about attacking B site. Just like for A site, we'll start off with a few slow orb lineups, then cover a few walls that you can use. First, let's start off with a slow for Market. To throw this slow, come into this corner of B Main and look at this picture of the giraffe on the wall. Using your crosshair, aim at the ear of the giraffe like this and throw. Next, let's go over a slow for the defender's spawn. To throw this slow, come into this corner of B Main. Using your crosshair, look at this back wall into the center of this window and throw. Now, let's go over a slow for the back stairs area. To throw this slow, come into this corner of B Main. Using your crosshair, look at this circle near the top of this back wall and throw. Finally, let's go over a slow for the back box on site. To throw this slow, come into this corner of B Main. Using your crosshair, look at this tree through the window. Aim about halfway up and throw. Sage is able to use her wall on top of this box in B Main. This wall allows her to peek through this window and into site and market area. This is a good time to mention that you can extend the ice wall to be 3 ice blocks instead of 2, if you use the wall jump extension technique. This longer ice wall will let you clear more angles in sight for your team, and give you a better view into the defender's spawn, but is outside the scope of this beginner tutorial. If you want to learn about it, I suggest watching the video that Grim made on the subject. I will leave a link in the description to his video. If your team is an Omen, you can also boost him up with you and he can sneak teleport through the window onto site like this. Another boost you can try with Omen and Sage is here, outside of B Main. Have your Omen teleport on top of this hut with an AWP before the round starts. Second the round starts, place a wall under his feet to give him a nice angle onto the catwalk. Let's switch over and talk about playing defense as Sage. Sage is able to effectively lock down any of the main choke points with her utility, but I prefer to hold from B main or mid as a defender. Let's start with a wall from inside of B Market that you can use to get a quick peek to the top of mid. Start by jumping onto this box of fruit and looking all the way down. Line up your crosshair slightly past the bottom left corner of the box. Now, slowly move your wall preview over to the right until you see it jump up onto the ledge like this. Notice how the wall preview is next to this box in the wall. That means it should be lined up correctly. Another wall you can use to help you hold mid is from back here in the spawn. Make sure you place the wall so you have some room to fall back behind this building for cover. You can combo this wall with a slow orb to get some easy kills on enemies caught in the slow. When defending from B, I like to start off the round with a slow orb off the back wall into B main to prevent a rush. If they push the slow, then I immediately wall B entrance to stall for my team. An alternate to the B main wall is one like this to create a nice off angle that will catch the enemies by surprise the first time that you use it. As you can see from the enemy's point of view, they will not be able to see you in this corner until they have already pushed out. Another boost wall Sage can use is here in B site on top of this box. This wall not only blocks off this side of the B lane, forcing the attackers to break it, but will give you some nice angles onto enemies coming out of B main. Make sure you place the wall on the right side of the box. If you place it too far to the left, it will break like this. Next, let's talk about doing a retake onto A site. Most of the time, you will be retaking this site because you will be playing from B or mid. Let's talk about how to slow the back generator area, as this is a common post-plant location for attacking players to hide in. To throw this slow, come into A heaven and line yourself up with this line on the wall here. Using your crosshair, aim at the yellow marker on this bottom pipe and throw. Next, let's talk about how to slow A main from heaven. Stand against this wall on the top stair. Using your crosshair, aim it into the top right section of this canvas sheet hanging on the wall and throw. The final retake slow I will cover is for the back of these green double boxes on site. To throw this slow, line up with the back wall here in between these last two windows. Using your crosshair, aim just below this window on the back wall of sight and throw. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned anything from this video or found it helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it helps me out a lot. My upload schedule is once a week, and I alternate between guides like this, highlights, and some longer form gameplay videos. I also stream on Twitch several times a week at twitch.tv/steepsteps, so make sure to drop by and say hi.
26 to kill good.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
What?